Welcome to our October 2024 real estate market update. I'm Eric with Andersen Realty Group, and in this video, we will look at both national and local trends here in the western suburbs of Chicago. We'll consider what's been happening with mortgage rates and inventory across the country, and then we'll look specifically at Burr Ridge, Downers Grove, and Neighborville. With the market in a constant state of flux, it's important to stay up to date with these trends if you're considering buying or selling a home. We'll start with the national outlook for context before we look at the western suburbs in detail. The U.S. housing market in 2024 has been defined by low inventory and high demand, but there are signs for optimism moving forward. The most important of these may be interest rates, which have been a massive hurdle for buyers over the past few years. Finally, they are starting to show signs of easing. Current mortgage rates have been hovering around 6.25%. That's better than the 7% they had been. Projections for 2025 suggest a further decline into the mid to high 5% range. Now, it's important to note that any reduction will take place gradually, and it remains dependent on broader economic factors, which have been volatile and are subject to change, as we've seen. These current predictions are based on current economic data. Overall, lower rates are expected, which will improve affordability, especially for buyers who've been priced out of the market by these interest rates and by sellers who have been reluctant to make a move due to being locked into lower current mortgage rates. Total home sales in 2024 are projected to close around 4.7 million. This is below what we saw during the pandemic, but this is expected to increase to around 5.4 million homes in 2025. The projected increase in transactions is based on a combination of lower mortgage rates and slightly higher inventory, which will provide some relief from the current market, which remains brutally competitive for buyers. Home prices are expected to continue rising, though at a more moderate pace. Remember, the Fed's goal is to reduce inflation to 2%, not to create deflation. The gains we've seen in the home values are here to stay, and they're expected to continue increasing at a range of anything between 2.5% and 4%. This is a much healthier and more sustainable rate than what we've seen since 2020. But as we'll see, local conditions can vary greatly, so it's important to keep track of your local market. And on that note, let's turn our attention to Burr Ridge. The real estate market in Burr Ridge remains competitive, though not quite as fierce as some other nearby markets. The current inventory is just below 3.5 months supply. Anything below 6 months is considered a seller's market, and Burr Ridge still has very low inventory, definitely giving the advantage to sellers in most negotiations. The exception to this is when market time gets very high, which gives more leverage to buyers. Both Downers Grove and Neighborville have even stronger conditions for selling and more competition amongst buyers. Over the past year, inventory in Burr Ridge has decreased by almost 11%, which is why inventory is still low and why there is still an imbalance between supply and demand. Buyers have fewer options than they would in a balanced market, and they need to be prepared to compete for the good homes. Market time in Burr Ridge is currently at a median of 17 days. This indicates a pretty quick turnover for homes, though again, market time in both Downers and Neighborville are lower. Burr Ridge homes are selling around 99.1% of asking price, again reflecting strong buyer demand. Median sale price in Burr Ridge is just over $800,000, reflecting the affluent nature of this market. Burr Ridge's buyers tend to look for larger luxury homes, and sometimes the competition for these upscale properties can be fierce. Turning our attention to Downers Grove, we see even more intense competition than we did in Burr Ridge. Inventory here is below a 2-month supply compared to 3.5 in Burr Ridge, and inventory has declined by almost 15% in Downers Grove. It's a pretty significant reduction in available inventory, which has led to homes selling very quickly and often well above asking price. Median market time in Downers is only 11 days, meaning buyers don't have a whole lot of time to think about making an offer. And remember, many homes will sell during the first weekend on market, even sometimes after a day or two. Sellers are actually getting a slight amount above asking price, reflecting the fact that many homes will go to multiple offers and get competitive. If you're looking in downers and see a new listing, there is a good chance that home will end up in a bidding war. The relief downers offers versus Burr Ridge is the price tag, where homes are selling for a median of $487,500. This lower median price, coupled with tight inventory, makes Downers Grove an attractive but highly competitive option for buyers looking for a nice community that offers a lot of value for the price. Turning to Neighborville. This market reflects a similar level of competition to what we saw in Downers, with a month supply of 1.67, which is just a hair below 1.7 in Downers. Naperville's very limited supply indicates the strongest seller's market of the three. Over the past year, inventory in Naperville has dropped by over 2%, which is the smallest drop of our three western suburbs. And yet, it's still indicative of tightening market conditions. It should come as no surprise then that homes in Neighborville are selling very quickly with a median market time of 12 days. Sellers are getting 99.4% of asking price, which is about the same as what you see in Burr Ridge, but less than in Downers Grove. Of all of these markets, buyers are generally paying right around asking price. Some homes will go over, others will go under. The best advice I can give you is to look at market time, as the listings that are new to market are much more likely to get competitive, particularly if they're nice and priced reasonably. In terms of cost, Naperville's homes sell for a median of $603,500, putting it in between Downers Grove's more affordable homes and Burr Ridge's higher-end luxury homes. This middle ground makes Naperville attractive to buyers looking for the right balance of affordability, community, and location. As you can see, the national and local markets are presenting a mix of challenges and opportunities as we look ahead to 2025. The prospect of easing mortgage rates is probably the most encouraging sign for buyers, but market conditions in the western suburbs remain quite competitive. This is great news for sellers. It means buyers need to be ready to act quickly and possibly to face competition. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in Burr Ridge, Downers Grove, Naperville, or the western suburbs of Chicago, reach out to me anytime. Please also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with real estate in Burr Ridge and the western suburbs. I'm Eric with Andersen Realty Group, a family-owned brokerage where we treat our clients like family.